Did you like the lake house I gave you, Mom? Those were the first words my son said as I placed the warm pumpkin pie on the table that quiet Thanksgiving afternoon. My hand froze on the dish, the steam rising beneath my fingers as if urging me to answer quickly. But I couldn't not when the question made no sense. "What house?" I asked softly. Across the room, my daughter-in-law went still. Not dramatically, just a tiny pause, a breath caught in the wrong place. Enough for me to feel something inside shift, like a drawer left slightly open in an otherwise tidy room. "I'm glad to have you here with me today. Follow my story all the way through and tell me the city you're watching from." The scent of cinnamon and roasted turkey filled my little home, the kind of cozy aroma my husband used to love. I'd spent the whole morning moving carefully around my tiny kitchen, measuring spices the way he taught me. Thanksgiving meant something to him. It meant family, tradition, belonging. After he passed, I tried to keep those traditions alive, not because the holidays were easy, but because he would have wanted our son to feel anchored. But as I sat down across from David, watching him smooth his expensive jacket and glance around like the walls were unfamiliar, I felt something I hadn't felt before: distance. A quiet kind, the sort that doesn't hurt until you examine it too closely. He leaned forward. "Mum, the house by Lake Remington. I told you last year that we bought it for you." His eyes softened. "I wanted you to be comfortable. You deserve that." My heart tightened, not from joy but from confusion. I had received no house, not even a key, not even a phone call, and certainly no explanation. I looked down at my hands. They were trembling slightly, the way they do when I am trying to hold onto something steady and the world keeps shifting under my feet. "I never got a house, David." When I said those words, the room changed, subtle but clear. My daughter-in-law's smile slipped at the edges. She glanced at David quickly, the kind of glance that isn't meant to be noticed, a quiet alarm passing from one person to another. And in that moment over turkey, warm rolls, and a holiday meant for gratitude questions began forming in my mind, faster than I could quiet them. All those months I'd worked nights at the school. All those weeks I'd cut my medication in half. All those days the mailbox stayed strangely empty, and all the while my son believed he was supporting me. I held my breath as the conversation drifted away from the house. I watched the way Victoria busied herself with the dishes, how she reacted to every mention of finances, a subtle tightening of the shoulders, a glance that lingered too long. When they left that evening, my tiny home felt colder than it had the night before. I washed the dishes slowly, letting the warm water run over my hands while my thoughts ran in circles. A lake house, monthly support, documents I had never seen. What else had gone missing that night, long after the heater clicked off? I lay awake listening to the hum of the refrigerator and the faint rustle of the trees outside. My mind kept returning to the details, every small moment that seemed harmless at the time. Why had Victoria insisted on bringing in my mail? Why did she always offer to explain things to David later? Why did she dismiss my questions with a quick laugh or soft pat on the hand? By morning, the frost had settled across the neighborhood like a thin veil. I wrapped my sweater tightly around me and made myself a weak cup of coffee. The cold tile beneath my feet felt sharper than usual, or maybe it was simply the weight of understanding beginning to settle. I gathered my notebook, the one where I wrote grocery lists and reminders. At the back, I found a series of bank fees ID, never understood charges the bank had brushed off as routine, but routine didn't explain missing deposits. Routine didn't explain why my name had apparently signed documents I never touched. After a long walk through the quiet streets, I made my way to the bank. Inside, the teller pulled up my history. Her polite smile faded slightly as she scanned the screen. "There are no records of any monthly support deposits, ma'am," she said, "and it appears someone inquired about your account 2 years ago. Someone, not me. Not David, someone who had access, someone who moved with confidence, someone who assumed I wouldn't notice." I left the bank with printed statements tucked under my arm, the cold wind pushing at my coat as if urging me forward. On my way home, I passed by Maple Street. Mrs. Dalton, always observant, waved me over. "Funny thing," she said casually. "Your daughter-in-law used to stop by often. She always checked your mailbox first. Thought it was odd." My breath paused. "Did she ever take anything with her?" "Too. A few times," she said. "Said you asked her to." I thanked her and continued walking, the snow crunching under my shoes. Each step felt heavier as memory and truth began to braid themselves together. At home, I spread the statements across my kitchen table. The forged signature, the missing money, the questions that never reached me. Piece by piece, a picture sharpened. I wasn't simply uninformed, but I had been deliberately kept in the dark, left alone with bills, while someone else lived comfortably off what was meant for me. But as I looked at the papers, the confusion that had gripped me the night before began to shift into something steadier, something clearer. Not anger, not fury, just understanding. A quiet, grounded understanding that the truth had been rerouted but could still be reclaimed. This was only the beginning. Asterisk. If you found this story moving, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. For the full story, visit our sister channel, Everyday Family Stories, *, link in the description. *.